Welcome to Transform Now, brought to you by SSNC, where we explore the future of work through the lens of AI. Across industries, leaders are rethinking strategy, culture, and operations to harness AI's full potential. This podcast gives you the insights and ideas to transform your organization, stay competitive, and thrive in a world driven by change. Let's get into the show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Transform Now podcast. I'm your host, Michael Marchuk, and today we have a special guest with us. He's representing one of the winners of our customer awards. Kasim Iqbal is part of Computacenter, and he'll be going through his award today, talking about what they won and a little bit about how they did it. So Kasim is currently heading up an RPA team at Computacenter and has been using Blue Prism for over 10 years. And so, Kasim, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Excellent. So obviously my intro was very short. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, I've been in Computacenter coming up to 15 years. I've been using Blue Prism for the last 10 years. Started off initially using it in 2016. And since then, we've grown on how we use Blue Prism. Where we started off and where it is now, it's completely different. But yeah, our journey over time has expanded and we now use the tool a lot more efficiently than we started off with.
I can imagine you do. And of course, the tools changed quite a bit over 10 years as well. So Can you briefly describe the project for which your team won this particular award?
Yeah, sure. So it was on paper, it was a very simple process, but for us, it brought a lot of benefit. So our engineering and maintenance team in the Computacenter were having to create return labels. So we have assets, we ship assets out, and they were having to create return labels to ship these assets from our warehouse. And they were having to do this manually. So there was, as you can imagine, a lot of copy and paste was being done. Very tedious task. It was highly time consuming because the amount of tickets that were coming in, there was SLA impacts. So the team reached out, seeing if we could help. And yeah, we said yes. It's something that Prism specializes in because it can copy and paste. It can, as is repetitive, can repeat that and build a process. So that's exactly what we did. Created a Blue Prism process, which, as it was really successful and accepted within the business.
So that environment you kind of walked in to see this, how did they approach this idea of automating these particular tasks when you kind of brought this to their attention?
Within Computacenter, we have first strategy, automation first mindset. So that's across the board. And that's something that we drive, not just our team, but generally in Computacenter. That is how we work, automation first. And we had automated a number of processes for this department. So they were aware of what we can do. So they said, okay, we've got this challenge. Can you assist? Can we automate it partially, fully? They just wanted to explore what the possibilities were. And yeah, like I said, that's exactly what we did. And thankfully, we were able to automate this using our tooling. And obviously, it's not always successful. Sometimes you hit challenges, various different tools. Obviously, it's DPD, an external portal, external website. So we did hit various different challenges, but nothing that we couldn't overcome. And like I said, it was one of our very successful projects.
Well, we'll be talking about the challenges in a little bit, but let's start focusing on what you did accomplish. So in your award submission, you mentioned more than 75,000 hours of savings, but beyond the time reduction, what else did the business experience that had the greatest impact?
Firstly, if you look at the human side, copying, pasting from one ticketing tool to a portal is not the most exciting activity.
Not a lot of reward there for the people, right?
Exactly. You wouldn't come in to, I'm going to copy and paste data. So removing that, obviously, it frees up our analysts to do more technical activities or stuff that's a bit more, you can call it exciting as much as it can be, but exciting. Yeah, removing that. So that's the people side. But on the SLA side, the amount of tickets that we were processing, obviously there's SLAs associated to them. So, and a bot can continue working, can have multiple bots, the workforce you can grow. So we deliver it quicker. Obviously, over time, we've streamlined the process, use APIs, but so that's helped. So SLAs, quality, humans make mistakes. It's common knowledge. Copy and pasting, you can copy and paste. So it removes that because a bot would do it exactly the same every single time. Other benefits you can obviously see. Computacenter, we're a large organization, global organization. We bring on customers. So with this process being there, you don't always have to retrain people to do this activity. You can just, the bot will just pick it up and carry out the process. Most of the process is streamlined, standard. So a new customer onboarded will just, be onboarded to this process as well. No changes will be needed. So that's an additional benefit. We don't have to retrain people. Uh, so there's various different benefits along with the hours saved. Obviously, that is a huge benefit because it frees up our people to do other stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of going through this, you're processing approximately 150,000 of these tracking updates without human intervention. That's pretty significant, right?
Roughly, and that's always growing
Yeah, no
because
doubt.
our maintenance business is always growing. We're getting new customers in, and this activity, obviously, DPD is one of our couriers that we do to ship our assets. So the numbers are increasing, and over the last 2 years, and where we are now, the numbers, I think, probably about 500% more where we were when we started off with this. So
Wow,
the numbers are always growing.
that's amazing. So what technical or architectural decisions enabled that level of scale and reliability? Were there any specific design principles, API strategies, exception handling approaches, or development practices that proved critical to be able to deliver this way?
So when we started off, we didn't go down the API route. So we went with the standard Blue Prism, copy and paste, screen scraping. That's on the DPD website and our internal ticketing tool as well. We got multiple tickets. We got two, so Remedy and ServiceNow. So it's both of them. So standard screen scraping. But over time, we've gone down the API route, just so because the processing time is a lot quicker, a lot more streamlined, more error. It's error prone. So error prone. APIs are far quicker to make changes to. So there were them challenges at the start where we didn't have an API, and so a slight change on the portal on DPD side would break our process. Slight changes on our side, ticketing data, would break our process. So we did hit a few challenges, but over time we've made this process streamlined. And like you said, Blue Prism has, over the upgrades, the different versions, it's improved the spying mechanism, the different how Blue Prism interacts with different websites, etc. So we've used that to our advantage and streamlined the process over time.
Yeah, that makes sense. So every automation project runs into challenges. You mentioned a few there. What were the biggest challenges you ran into during the deployment and development? And looking back, were there specific lessons that you learned that would influence, your future decisions as you're going forward with your automations?
I'll be honest with you, thankfully this project was not that challenging. Just because we had started this initiative when I said like automation first is something that we drive. So people were on board. And so we just wanted to deliver this. And the process itself, like I said, is fairly standard. You're creating a return label, DPD side, then you're looking for the tracking data, and then there's a proof of delivery. There's nothing too complex in that. We've gone down the API route, so that was slightly more technical, but all in all, it's still very standard process. So it was just to understand the different use cases was probably the most challenging stuff. Obviously, like the shipping out assets to a customer, hit challenges like email addresses, phone numbers, so DPD send out notifications, all that. You just need to make sure the data was there and available for the bot to pick up. And if it wasn't able to pick it up from one primary location, was there a secondary location that it could look for a phone number, for example? I don't know how much you know about ticketing tools, but you have the description field, and then you have other fields where like phone number field. Sometimes phone number may be available in the description field or the summary field, but not in the actual phone number field app. So various different challenges, email addresses as well. Email address not being available. What do you do? Business exception. Can we improve that? So over time, got all the business exceptions and seeing how we could improve that and bring more of the task into the successful route. So I think the biggest challenge we ever would face was the data related challenge.
Gotcha. So this automation didn't just update the tickets, it also closed them once you get a proof of delivery. So how did you build confidence and trust in allowing the automation itself to make the operational decisions autonomously? Was there any specific governance, testing controls, or whatnot that you put in place to help achieve that goal?
I think we testing the process, getting the business confidence that yes, we are looking at the right data and the ticket close that we do close is the correct one to do. We went through a lengthy testing period where whatever we did, business would review. And if there was an error, the business would pick it up and they would flag it to our team, and then we can review that. Thankfully, we've not had many issues where the bot has closed the ticket incorrectly, because the POD data, once you receive it in a certain format, and that's the good thing about DPD, it's standard. The wording, everything is standard. It mentions POD and then standard wording. So you can put the standard wording, and then it was pretty simple from there on.
Gotcha. So obviously, this doesn't happen in isolation. So as you collaborated with the other teams, the business teams, operations, and technology folks, how did you align around the common goal of achieving the automation as it stands right now? Because it sounds like, again, with the technical side of things, adding the APIs into it, there's a different approach that you had to take that would be a lot more technical than business related. So how did you align all that together?
Firstly, from the business side, top down, I think automation first, strategy, mindset is coming from top down. So our senior management, even my senior manager, everyone wants to say automate. Let's see how we can become more efficient in our delivery. That's not just Blue Prism, that's across the board, different automation tool sets. So that mindset being there, it helps when it's coming top down. So the people are on board. They want to see how we can improve a process, automate it. So with that in mind, the business were on board. And with the business being on board, we were able to map out the process, saying that these are the different cases, scenarios. And then we had to get, obviously, the external DPD side. We had to get them on board, get them involved around the API stuff. But being a vendor, being a third-party courier, they were helpful. They didn't have a problem. I think a lot of other organizations may do something similar. So they share the API, and then we had technical resources from my team who were able to take that and build that API within Blue Prism. So collaboratively, I think everyone was on board with this solution.
That's excellent, because you talk about the top-down piece of it and bringing that, I would say, that business vision to light. We need to automate first, which is that's a really good culture to kind of be in part of, because it helps you grow your business without necessarily adding a whole lot of people to be able to do that.
And it has to come top down.
Yeah.
I think our senior management, everyone, I think it's because obviously you've seen probably other organizations, probably somewhere in there where automation, sometimes people are more fearful, especially with AI and everything. People are fearful of their jobs, fearful of they may lose their jobs. What's going to happen if the automation were to take our jobs? But that's the mindset we're removing from Computacenter, because automation and AI, obviously, which is AI, it's not there to take your jobs. It's just to make you more efficient, make you more effective, and give you more activities to do over time. Take away these tedious, repetitive tasks and give you more technical stuff that automation can't do.
I agree with that one wholeheartedly. So if another organization wanted to replicate the success that you're finding, what advice would you give them? What should they focus on first?
I think understand the business challenges, understand that the challenge that the business are going through. It might be something like this tracking. I didn't work in the maintenance department. So if the business didn't come to us with this challenge, we would never find out about it because we're not that close to the maintenance. Obviously, it's not our job. So the business have to play a part. They need to come up with requirements and also their business challenges. I'm not saying automation can solve everything. Sometimes they can't, but you can at least attempt it. And that's what we try to drive. We don't promise, oh yeah, if you come up with it, we will solve it. No, but if we understand it, maybe we can give a solution that will potentially remove some of the activity if we can't fully automate. And in this case, I wouldn't say we were lucky because there was a lot of hard work from my team and the business put into this. But I think over time we've made this process where it's just new customer comes in, they can just use it. So yeah, I think for any other organization, understand the business challenge, get the business. I think this automation first strategy initiative is great. Get the business thinking about automation, understand the requirement, challenges, and then yeah, just go with it. Just
You bring up a good question which is getting the business engaged. It's one thing to say from a top down, we're going to be automation first and everything's going to be automated and we're going to do the best we can with that. But to get the business to buy in at the individual functional level, how do you do that? Or how has your team done that in a way that has allowed you to be so successful?
like I said, I think our senior management, they've been driving the automation. You can call it initiative, you can call it strategy, but they've been driving that from the top. So that's people a lot senior than me. They've been driving that within the different departments. They've been driving each department. So our CEO, she says, every department come up with automation ideas, and then from there, every department has this objective saying, can we streamline our processes and make it more efficient? So if a given department doesn't come up with anything, I think it can be questioned. So is there nothing that you can automate in your area? So with that mindset, I think I'm not saying our teams, our departments, they're all great. They all come up with automation ideas. They all want to be effective. I think that's the aim, be more efficient, more effective. And from there, it just comes down. So seniors, then the team leads, and then the actual analysts that do the activities. It's just that message just comes down. And then there's our team. From our team, we promote as much as we can. If there is a good story, we shout about it in our organization. We talk about it saying, we've done this for X customer. Could your customer take advantage? Or if we do it for a department, we've done this for this department. Does your department do something similar? If yes, can we help you? So the more you talk about it, the more you promote, the more people start thinking about it.
How do you do that promotion internally? Is that like a recurring type of meeting, or is there a newsletter? How do you actually accomplish that?
So we use Viva. So we do like case studies on Viva. So Yammer, I don't know. Yeah, it's like I wouldn't say probably a corporate LinkedIn is probably the right. So Viva, if we have a good story that we want to shout about, we post it on there. We're a global company, so we try to in countries we try to like roadshows, workshops, automation days, talk about it on send communication out through email. So that various different methods. I don't think there's one method fits all. I think we try to get a mixture of all. So on a weekly basis, we also have a tech talk. People join from different departments, and each week there's a different tool, different automation, different tooling, I think you call it. And people just talk about what they've done, good stories that they've done, delivered.
Gotcha. That's a great way of getting the word out for sure. And sort of, I guess to wrap this up, when you look at the business itself, is there any specific function who's really gravitated towards the automations and really said this is key, that they've done more than anyone else?
I think if you're looking at it from a RPA perspective and Blue Prism, then our maintenance department has really taken our PA on board and really changed the way they work with the help of the bots. And that's solely because the bots and the functionality of the Blue Prism tool benefits them because they do a lot of data manipulation, rekeying, asset updates, etc. And the bots can do that. We have other tools that are better suited for other departments, like we have networking department, more technical automation that suits other departments. So our second line, third lines, PowerShell, Python may benefit them. But from a Blue Prism perspective, our maintenance department has really taken that on board.
I bet. How is AI factoring itself into this? As you mentioned earlier on, the world's moving towards AI. How has AI, just in general, been implemented within your organization?
I think it's still early days for AI. From a use case perspective, we're looking internally, like we use Copilot and stuff like that internally to see how that can benefit our processes. Externally, we haven't really got a use case that really stands out. This is from a Blue Prism perspective. I'm talking just for my team. We do have wider AI teams. From a Prism standpoint, I know Work HQ has been released, so we will look to explore that over the next few months to see how we can take that on board. But from a use case perspective, we're still seeing how AI can really make a difference. So that's where we are.
Fantastic. Well, Kasim, I'm so happy you could join us. Congratulations on winning your award, and thank you for joining us today.
No worries. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for listening to Transform Now, the podcast from SS&C. You can find all of our episodes on your favorite podcast channel, as well as YouTube. To stay on top of the hottest topics in the world of agentic automation, subscribe now. The future of work is here.